You've been forewarned. It's great to see so many people here today, live and virtually. Or not virtually, but that's not here. So, Eddie Farhat, pledge and prayer. Come on up.
Kathy, 624 on your calendar. Ben Samuels, 625 as well. So that's all we have for family group.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Thanks, Julia. Laura, you're ready for me. You're ready, aren't you? Just in case I forgot again. We have a craft talk. Come on,
All right. So hi, I'm Lori Whitmer. I'm also known as past President Ebor's daughter, in case you didn't know. I've been a member for 4 years. Harlan did ask me to do the craft talk today and said, be captivating in under 5 minutes. I cannot promise captivating, but I can ensure 5 minutes. I'll start the talk now. I'm going to share something personal, then something about my career, and then why Rotary is important to me. So, on a personal note, my husband and I have celebrated. You're probably wondering how that's possible. I was married at 10. Okay, I only got one, no more jokes. Okay. We have a daughter, Olivia. She's 16, about to turn 17, so she's a senior. And so that's a big time. It's kind of sad too, but we're living in schools and stuff. So it's also fun. With my career, I spent my entire career in the utility industry. The past 10 years have been at JEA, and the past 5 of that in my current role as manager of capital budget planning. Utility is very capital intensive. It's typically anywhere for electric, water, sewer, and chilled water from 500 to 600 million a year. Electric over the next 5 years has about $1 billion. Water has 1.5 billion. So very capital intensive. 2/3 of that is for maintaining our system, and that's one of the advantages of public power, is we're very good at providing reliable service. June 1st, we started the hurricane season. We have a program, it's called Restoration 123. So kind of wanted to review that. Step 1 is about public safety. And I just wanted to ensure you were aware the hurricane's coming. We're getting mutual aid crews in place. They're usually here in advance of the hurricane and wait out the storm. If you've ever been to Moroccan Shrine, that parking lot is full of all those trucks, completely full. So we have tons of aid available, waiting out the storm as soon as it's safe, started on their work. So that's phase 1. They restore the plant's transmission, things of that nature in our hospitals, fire and police, and shelters. And then the next phase is individual customers. So if you're still out, you can call us. You can also be set up with JA alerts. And the last phase is the final repairs. Only 2 minutes in.
We're not done.
So the last part is about Rotary. I am drawn to the organization because of the good we do in the community and in the world. During COVID this past 2 years, we did the 2 grants where we moved to the shelters, and I think that made a big difference during this time of COVID. 1 week ago, we just got approved for our grant for next year. It's a $6,000 project for to Daniel Kids. Part of a bigger Daniel Kid project. It's about a $1.2 million renovation. we're offering services to children with coexisting health issues to mild to moderate intellectual differences. It's a service that is not offered in this area, and families have to go to Orlando. So being able to offer that here in Northeast Florida is a good thing and good to be part of. And that's all I have. 3 minutes.
Thanks, Laura. I don't know why Laura didn't want to give her crap talk when we had Jay Stowe here. Yeah, that didn't work. Right. Laura is responsible for us executing our district grant in a week, if you'll recall, for those of, yeah, couldn't have done it without you. So thank you, Laura, for that. All right, Julia, got your mouth full of something? Yeah, come on up and give us the CIS project wrap up.
We had about 10 people come to the service event and stuffed 200 backpacks for children for the summer. It's going to be used for summer and summer school, and they're going to go out, I think, this week. So it's, coming in and going right out to the kids. Wonderful event. Everybody had a great time, and I think it's an amazing cause. So we had Jay was our poster child on social media, stuff in the backpacks if you haven't seen it. And yeah, we did. It was great.
200, that's a lot.
200, yeah.
Ask
Teamwork.
Ask Jay if he has anything to say.
Jay, would you like to add anything?
Pick up, Jay. Come on. Yeah.
All good.
No. You're muted, Jay.
I'm here. Come on, you should have the Zoom thing down by now.
A quiet lawyer. Doesn't exist.
Yeah, so we're moving on.
Okay.
We are. Thanks, Jay. Awesome job. Okay. No lunch meeting next week. Everybody got that? Because it's the hail and farewell that evening at 6 p.m. at San Jose. No lunch meeting next week. So, that means this is my last meeting. Ooh, I know, yeah. No big deal. So, right, just want to give you that reminder. Eddie Farhat, come on and tell us about that SOX project. Come on back up.
Yeah. Tell you what.
Yeah, this. All right, so for those of you who have been getting emails and who were here last week, we are taking SOX donations for Step Up for SOX, partnering with the United Way. Imagine walking out there without SOX right now in this humidity. I'm sure it wouldn't be fun. So if you could donate any. Thank you for everyone who's already donated.
A little bit on that food project. Come on.
Yes, thanks for the donations. If anyone wants to do hands-on work, it is this Thursday. There are 2 teams. One is the prep team that will be packaging the food, and the other is the passing out team. And if you want to do both, do both. So the prep team will be there at 11 in the morning, and the actual distribution starts at 3, and it goes until the food runs out.
And where is that again?
It is at Mount Olive Primitive Baptist Church on Myrtle Avenue. Make sure that we get the exact address mailed out. It's really fun. It's really hot. So shorts and a t-shirt is probably overdressed. No mosquitoes though.
Oh, right. Wow.
Zang me.
I think they just, their screen is off.
Thank you for that scary image. All right.
Thank you, President Tom. It's my pleasure to announce that the Rotary Club of Northwest Jacksonville has reached 20 membership applications, which is the number that Rotary International requires to actually become officially chartered Rotary Club. And this club will be one of the sponsoring clubs, as will North Jacksonville Rotary. Two of our members have transferred their membership. Councilman Terrence Freeman and Carlos Williams have been very instrumental in gathering the new members. I suspect by the time we actually file our charter papers, we'll probably have another few that call themselves charter members. It's very exciting. I'm looking forward to this club engaging with that club. And that is one of the main reasons why President Tom allowed me this moment to speak, is because we've identified our first project for the Rotary Club of Northwest Jacksonville, and that's we've adopted an elementary school in that area that's called Northwest Legends Elementary. And it's one of the lowest performing schools in the district, but they have a fantastic principal. Her last name is Polidor, but her first name is not Lawanda, I believe, Lawanda Polidor. We've been out there. A bunch of us attended their elevation ceremony for fifth graders who were going into middle school, which was a wonderful event. And some of us had donated some money and some time there as well. In fact, I helped push up some ties and tie some ties for some men who were graduating. But July 24th, if you put it on your calendar, I'd love to have some participation from this club. We're going to go to that elementary school, Northwest Legends Elementary. There'll be some landscaping work, some cleanup work on the outside. There'll be some classrooms that are cleaned up and organized on the inside. Some equipment that may need to be set up in the art room and the music room. Some things we can do. It's pretty easy, really. You don't need to, just need some hands, you know. So please put that on your calendar. I'll give you some more details as it comes. There will be probably some breakfast and some lunch and a lot of good fellowship from a lot of Rotary clubs. We're going to invite lots of Rotary clubs, and I'm sure North Jacksonville Rotary will be well represented as well. So thank you for your attention. It took more than a minute, but very excited about how we might engage with this new club as time goes on. This is our first opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Got all that, President-elect Richard? What? Right. Steve Madden, come on up, oratory.
For an oratory update. But before I begin, I got to recognize Mr. Massey starting something out. You know it's going to be a home run. You know Northwest Jacksonville's club's going to root in and last for 30 years. Why? Because a little over 30 years ago, that man over there started our Rotaract Club, which still exists to this day, 30 plus years later. So I know it's going to work and we'll all get behind it. Speaking of getting behind stuff, you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, you know, the oratory is right around the corner. It's next March. We probably need to get busy. So with that, our committee is going to come together in the next week or two, start developing ideas and school assignments and beginning the whole process that we're very familiar with, because luckily the committee's been together quite a while. People know their roles and know how to get things done. But where you come in at the early stage and where we're kind of been running a little dry is creating a topic. So we just wanted to plant the seed today. Don't answer, don't rush up to us today. Take a week or two and think of what may be an excellent topic for the students to tackle. Keep in mind that these are 17 and 18-year-olds, and if you give them a little window to run to the wrong corner, they're going to run to the wrong corner. So keep that in mind in designing your topic. That was it. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. If anyone on the oratory team contacts you for any reason, the appropriate response is yes. Right. We don't want to lose any time on that because we've got so much to be proud of, actually, with what we've been able to achieve. Yes.
How many schools participated this past year?
Steve, Les.
23. Is that difficult?
No, that's low. Usually we're up 30 plus, but pandemic prohibited our high school seekers from entering high schools.
23 or 24
So it makes a challenge.
applications accepted, and there were 2 of those that were like no-shows. So the actual participating schools was 2 short of the application.
That we were able to flawlessly execute during the COVID pandemic year.
Flawlessly.
It was business as usual. It was great. It was really great. Michelle Khalil, Where are you, Michelle? Way in the back. Would you like to introduce our visitors and guests, please? Yeah. Who's got it?
Your dad got it.
Are you doing it? All right, come on up, Annette. Yeah, right.
I know, you miss all these meetings, the first thing they do is put you to work. I like it. I'm just so proud to say I've been a member here for 20 years, but I've never missed as many meetings as I have, and I feel it. It is so wonderful to be back, and you know, today they canceled my senior team meeting, so I said, I can do it, and then I just remembered I put my car in for, at the shop for its annual, and I said, I don't have a car. I frantically called. Massey, you have a guest?
Hi, I'm Brian.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want.
Michelle has a guest. I'm worried about singing.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have my son out here today, and he turns 13 tomorrow. Officially a teenager, already taller than me.
Anybody online with the guests? Any guests online? Nope, okay. So do I have to
Patty
say?
a chance.
Where's Patty? Oh my
Patty's
gosh, she abandoned me.
Patty's like
What?
bringing up the music for you.
Just start it off.
Yeah.
What?
Start it off. Go ahead.
Oh, wait.
We road, not yet?
My IT
One.
department.
Today, so glad you came, shine or in rain. We here in Rotary say welcome, come again.
What a treat. So we got it all going on, Bill?
Yep.
Okay, we're good. Julia, come on back up. Introduce our speakers, please. Come on up.
I'm so excited for today's program. We have the Brumos collection. I'm going to go ahead and read these awesome bios. We have Brandon Starks, who has a BA in Business Management and Marketing from Jacksonville University. Prior to joining the Brumos collection in December of 2018, Brandon was the general manager of Porsche of Jacksonville, formerly Brumos Porsche. During this time there, Brandon helped guide his team to multiple Porsche Premier Dealer Awards and participated in various committees with Porsche Cars North America. Brandon's love of cars, racing, and automotive history led him to his current role at the Brumos collection. And Brandon is the CEO. And we have Tony Godwin, who has a bachelor's in communication with public relations and a master's in public administration from UNF. Prior to joining the Brumos collection in August, Tony most recently served as the director of the Ponte Vedra division for the St. Johns County Chamber of Commerce. Additionally, Tony spent several years at the Cultural Center of Ponte Vedra Beach as a membership manager before being promoted to director of development. In 2019, Tony was awarded 40 under 40. I don't know anybody who's done that. For recognition for her outstanding leadership of St. Johns County. She is also recognized as the most charitable young professional of the year at St. Johns County. And of course, it's no surprise that Tony is a Rotarian. She is a board member of the Ponte Vedra Beach Rotary Club and was awarded Rotarian of the Year for her community. Tony is an outstanding individual and a good friend, and I am very proud to welcome both Brandon and Tony.
Hello, thank you for having us. I'm Brandon Starks. I'm the Thanks for writing the bios. Tony will be kind of helping with the presentation. We work pretty much in tandem with what we're doing. I think to best understand what it is we are and where we're going, it's kind of good to understand who we've been. We've kind of evolved a lot over the years. And so we've done a little PowerPoint, but I promise I won't read word for word. Everything is on there, but decided against it. I think slide 3 would be fine.
You can take it to slide 3.
One more. There we go.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Many people have heard of Brumos in Jacksonville. Actually, a little bit of a typo. We've been in Jacksonville since 1957. The company began in 1953. A man named Hubert Brundage, who was a businessman in South Florida and also an avid amateur car racer, decided he could race more affordably if he was somehow involved in the business. And so beginning in 1953, he created Brundage Motors and started selling Volkswagen parts and cars out of his hardware stores in Miami. And it took off pretty much beyond anything he imagined, and ultimately became one of the original importers of Volkswagen cars in the southeastern United States, and was also one of the original 6 importers of Porsche cars in the southeastern United States, which he did from 1959 on. The way we got our name is when they would communicate to the, and they would shorten Brundage Motors to Brumos, and Hubert found that to be a much more efficient way of communicating, and starting in 1959, he changed the name of the company to Brumos Motors Inc. Especially when it was car buying time, there would an unusual number of people would come in and reference their personal friendship with Mr. Brumos when it was time to buy a car.
We're like, oh, you do? No.
My name is
No, you don't.
I will say that we've just announced the release of a new Brumos book, which is out. That is a 3-volume book, which is 14.
It's a nice workout. And a read.
Ownership, we've always had very passionate. Peter Gregg purchased the dealerships in 1965 in the racing team, and went on to create Brumos as what became a household name in the sports car racing world. If you're not involved in that world, or maybe you've heard of Brumos in Jacksonville, most likely it's because of the success we've had on that stage. One more slide, I'm sorry. So the type of racing we've done is we've done traditionally sports car racing, which would involve going left and right around a road course, many times in endurance races, which can last up to 24 hours. As a racing team ourselves, we have won the overall prize at Daytona 4 times as a team, which for us, that's like winning the Super Bowl 4 times. We've had the honor of being the factory racing team for Porsche, as well as, like I mentioned, a retailer of a variety of marks of cars. It was through Peter Gregg and a guy named Hurley Haywood, who still lives in St. Augustine here today. Hurley became known as the most successful endurance racing driver in history. Where Hurley is, be sure to say hello to him. What what he's done on a racetrack and as a human being is really quite outstanding. But his career has been closely timed. We raced professionally all the way up until 2013. Our most recent 24-hour Daytona win was in 2009, in the picture in the top right. And it was really quite an honor for us. Racing was important to us as an organization for a lot of reasons. One, we created a brand that to this day still has kind of value to it and some intrigue. It's helped us attract a talented workforce through time, regardless of what it was we were doing, whether it be at a dealership or what we're doing now as a collection. And served as a model for our operation, both when we were dealers, but even in what we do today. It teaches you that you prepare for anything, that you don't cut corners, and that you do things the right way, because you never know when it will catch up to you if you do not. It created a sense of pride and purpose, and really the philosophy was that you race on Sunday and sell. And what we do today, it's we show we show cars on Saturday and work on Monday, but it's very much the same philosophy. And it helped our customers feel like part of our team, which we still feel as they come in with what we're currently doing. That was a little interlude through our ownership chain, but most recently, the Brumos companies were owned starting in 1991 by local businessman Dan Davis and Bob Snodgrass. They purchased the dealerships together, which included Mercedes-Benz and Lexus and Porsche. They returned to professional racing and continued winning top dealership awards. It was through them that what we are now began. In 1997, Bob and Dan started a building where they wanted to keep the collector cars, their toys. So they had the dealerships, but really they were just kind of excited car enthusiasts like the rest of us. And they started collecting cars, and they built a room that was about 15,000 square feet. And the story goes, they walked in, they said, how in the heck are we ever gonna fill this? And about 9 months later, Dan had to go to Bob and say, Bob, you gotta stop, we're bursting at the seams here. So we've had a collection of cars that has kind of done what our things tend to do, which is get out of hand since 1997. In 2016, we sold our retail franchises to the Fields Automotive Group. So both our Porsche dealership, Lexus of Orange Park, Lexus on Atlantic Boulevard, Lexus of Jacksonville, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, and Mercedes-Benz of Orange Park. The retail franchises went to the Fields Automotive Group. But Dan retained the rights to the name Brumos and the collection of cars and Brumos Racing. So the big dilemma at that point is, what do I do with it from a actual physical standpoint, and then with it from kind of a responsibility to history standpoint, which is how we got to where we are today. Once the dealership sold, we started building the facility we're in now off of San Pablo Road, just south of the Mayo Clinic, about 1.5 miles. And it was built from the ground up to serve as what is essentially a car museum. We don't like to, we struggle with museum word, the M word, because it doesn't necessarily reflect what it is that we are. You know, it kind of feels like a museum is a place where things kind of go sit and you appreciate them, but they've kind of gone there to die. Whereas all of our artifacts and items function and run. So all of our cars that we have, which is 135 years worth of cars, run and function, and we want life, and that's what we're out here to kind of appeal to everyone today, is to keep us in mind for things that we can do to bring life to.
Yeah, it's fun when people come into the building, they have been to other car museums, and one of the first things we let people know is that all of our cars run. And you usually, you know, kind of see this wow factor on their face. And show of hands, how many people have been to the Brumos collection yet? A handful, right? So it's probably not, it probably doesn't even look the way that it did when you were there. Like, what's fun about our place is that we are moving things around all the time, and a lot of times you can even hear cars running in the shop. So it's a really fun, interactive, energy-filled like place to be, as opposed to sometimes museums can get a little dry and not so fun. So I think that's something to keep in mind, that that's something that we really want to make sure that we let the community know, is that it's a really, it's a fun place to come and learn, and that it's usually not the same thing every time you come.
And there's not a lot of whispering either, because most car people can't hear anyway. So we can't make it too stuffy. But the building itself was actually designed from a local design. Many of you know or don't know. There's a Ford assembly plant that's located under the Matthews Bridge in downtown Jacksonville. And so as we were looking for physical locations to move the collection to, that was one that kind of turned up. Unfortunately, physically, it is too far gone for what we wanted to do, but the architecture really appealed to Dan. And so that was what we used to inspire the architecture of our current facility. So we have large windows of brick that kind of gives it a good warmth, but it all the local Jacksonville assembly plant. We have 35,000 square feet. We're fully wired in a variety of rooms, so we have great meeting spaces, entertainment spaces, state-of-the-art AV systems, and then a gallery with our cars displayed. One of the unique features we have for the cars is each one we programmed a digital kiosk to, a touchscreen, with all of the information and photos of the car and ways for people to kind of interact while they're there. The goal was, because so many young people these days are living their lives through a touchscreen device, that if we could make something appealing and easy to use for them, that maybe we could kind of attract the attention of some younger folks as well.
Yeah, it also adds a really cool dynamic because you have all of this memorabilia in cars that are steeped in history and tradition. And then we also have this juxtaposition of these digital kiosks. So it's a really fun way of having old and new kind of come together, which the response from people has been really, really positive.
And aside from our building, next slide. We get to next one. Is our collection of cars, which again, most people are unaware, but believe it or not, there's a group out there, the Classic Car Trust, that kind of spends time rating car collections. We've been rated in the top 20 collections of cars in the world. We're often asked if we've seen Jay Leno's collection. To put it in perspective, his collection is 55th in the world in terms of significance and what it stands for. So we have a very dense collection in terms of historical significance. Roughly 65 cars. We'll display about at any given time and kind of change them up and show them. We may have cars parked out front when visitors come, just keep it in. And the biggest car race in the world in the 1920s and 30s. You did it in Miller. He won 12 out of 17 Indy 500s. And the race cars were often the impetus for change.
What?
Can you talk?
Huh?
Can you talk?
Yeah, I guess I can. There's nothing on there.
I would like for her to do before it gets to be a big storm. Larry.
Allows us to kind of provide, become the same. Hey, Brandon, we have 2 clients that just flew in. We've got a meeting in 2 hours. They love cars. I can bring them by. Sure. And if somebody, example I use all the time is, if we had the head of electric mobility from Porsche come in and talk about what he sees the future of alternative fuels and mobility being, and that being a roundtable discussion with our corporate partners, I think that's a value add for something that we can bring to the table and something that might be of business use to our members. So things like that is what.
We have a lot of special, unique spaces. We have a beautiful boardroom. We have a movie theater. We have an upstairs mezzanine, a full catering kitchen and a plating kitchen upstairs. So it can host an array of things. We can kind of build to suit depending on what you're looking to do for something small and intimate or something larger. Again, it really depends on who we're working with.
You said before this new building, which is beautiful, by the way, I love it. The museum, I got in when you were Fridays only, and I was ecstatic that you were Thursday, Friday.
I knew I recognized you. Yeah.
So you said you filled up the building quickly.
Yeah.
Are you still looking for vehicles? That's question number 1. Not that I had it. And question number 2 is, do you have a special relationship with Bill Warner and the VA of Concourse, or describe that?
Yeah, we absolutely, so I'll answer the Bill question first. We absolutely have a very special relationship with Bill. One of the unique things is Bill was an amazing photographer in his younger days, and most of we have these large murals on our walls. Most of the images on the Porsche side are actually Bill's photographs. But Dan Davis was very instrumental in helping Bill kind of get the Concours off the ground. I think early Concours were basically a Brumos show just because we would send cars out to help him get it showing. But that's something we're very passionate. Bill's been wonderful to us, and we hope that we can reciprocate.
Maybe still a current member.
Yeah, and he's a wonderful man. So it's we've been blessed with a great relationship with him. As far as acquiring cars, it's a funny thing. Once you get to a certain point, it starts becoming like you're walking past drug pushers. I get offered cars 3 times a week. People are always offering, and you say you're not interested, but it's like, the thing I say is, you can call me and say, hey, do you want me to pick up donuts on my way? And I'll say no, but then you walk by the box of donuts and you're like, I'll have one of those. So it's kind of the right time and place. We're not really actually pursuing anything, but it doesn't mean that the right car won't show up. And one of the things that, especially speaking for Dan, that stewardship is a very much an important part of what we're doing, and caring for the history of these cars and kind of protecting them so that they're intact for kind of the next generation of people. And Dan does see himself as very much a caretaker and a steward of cars, and I Unfortunately, especially with the older cars, a lot of their current caretakers are reaching an age where it doesn't make sense to either own the cars anymore, or some are passing, and so those cars start changing hands again. So, long story short, it's not unheard of. We're not actively out looking, but we don't really have to. They kind of just keep coming our way.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When you're looking for a car, are you looking for rarity, or engineering, or styling? What are the?
Yes.
All of the above.
All of them.
Yes. Just a little insight. What's interesting for us is that we work mainly with race cars. That's mainly what's in our collection. So whatever race cars do, they wreck. So it's not unheard of for a race car to go out and get in a wreck. And, one part goes to this thing, and parts move around places. And so what you see as dollar signs get assigned to vehicles is that all of a sudden this suspension piece from this wrecked car goes on a different car, and someone's saying, I've got the original car. And so you have to do a lot of kind of research and my vocabulary is failing me, but there's a lot of verification of a vehicle, because you'll see a lot of cars now get put in a barn and hay tossed on top, and they pull it right back out and say, look what I found. So road cars are one thing, but with race cars, you're really doing that history that is generally accepted to be that car is very important. So, yes, sir.
I know it's a bad word, museums. Is there any kind of exchange of automobiles between different facilities?
Yeah, and so that is one thing that I can see us becoming involved in as we go. We opened in January of 2020 and then closed in March of 2020 because of COVID, and then it just reopened again in January of 2024. The reopening has, I'm sure we're not alone, caught us a little by surprise, in that the world just said go. There was no kind of ramping up or planning for when things would start again. So I see that being something that we get into. Fortunately, it's a fairly good, tight-knit community of people. The Revs Institute in Naples has been wonderful to us, and I can see us working on the change with them. We have our first car on loan from the Francis family, which was the car we won the 2009 Daytona race in. So we're getting into some of that loan. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
What was your most successful car racing-wise that you have in the museum?
Oh gosh. As a model, it would probably be our Porsche 917K. As a manufacturer, I think the most successful racing car ever was a Bugatti Type 35. They won 2,000 races between 1926 and 1930. So we have an example of that, which I didn't win that much.
Any that have won them all?
We don't have any Le Mans winners. We have 2 Daytona winners, a few championship winners. We have, we have some with some serious, street cred. The Porsche side, the more current stuff was Brumos stuff, and Brumos was mainly a North America-based kind of operation. We have a car that ran at Le Mans, that Porsche ran in a livery as a tribute to Brumos, which we were the first American team to ever be honored in that way by Porsche to run our livery on their factory car. With the Le Mans winners. Yes, sir.
I think you might have undersold the technology aspect of it, because to me it was so easy to get information on each vehicle. In fact, it was so much information on each vehicle that it was exhausting for me.
Yeah.
I didn't need that all of it, but for the tech, there's technical information, there's history on each car. Races, it's fun. I mean, it's fabulous the way that they have the information right at your fingertips, literally.
Well, it really lends itself to a nice self-learning opportunity. You get to come in and learn as much or as little about the cars that interest you the most. There's a spec sheet, there's a gallery of images, and then, like you said, it just really goes from its full lifespan, and really helps to tell the tale of each car.
Yeah, and to that point, I tend to yourself. So thank you, because when I say we have one of the 20 most significant collections of cars in the world, what that means is every car that we have could really be the top car in any of its own collection. So it's like the all-star team of cars, and there's so much history and technology that it is difficult to transfer that effectively, unless you kind of segment it the way we have with our digital screens. Plus, different things about cars or many things interest different people. So, you know, there's the human component that I'm interested in the human side of this. I'm interested in the technical side. So to be able to pick that out, yes, thank you. That was important to us.
Fun.
And we're very proud of that. We get the hook.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Brandon, as a thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be making a donation in your honors to the Rotary International Foundation for Polo Plus. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Meeting next week. So we need to know that you're going to be there, President Richard, as I do a French goodbye out the back of the room. Bring socks to the hail and farewell. Yeah, don't forget the past President Vicki Lynn's food event this Thursday if you want to help staff that. And I think that gets all of it. So please join me in the Rotary motto as we end our meeting. Promise those who serve us best.